Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most humble and loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Swami. It is my proud privilege to introduce to you the speaker for today. We are indeed blessed to have Brother Sri Ranganath Raju join us today. An alumnus of Swami's College in Puttaparthi, Brother Raju was often lovingly called Kavi, meaning a poet, by Swami. He was asked by Swami to speak in his immediate divine presence on more than 60 occasions. A prolific writer, true to the epithet of a poet given by Swami, Brother Raju has scripted more than 400 plays that were presented in front of Swami. Professionally, he is an entrepreneur running an economics research and recruitment company called Sanatana Analytics and Recruitment Services, with a team of over 80 people. Prior to this, he served as the executive assistant to the chairman of the TVS Group. In the year 2015, Brother Raju was awarded the prestigious Most Promising Young Economist title. He was also invited to be a part of Government of India's core team to draft the Indian automotive policy. Brother Raju has an undergraduate degree in commerce and a postgraduate degree in management from Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in Puttaparthi. We express our loving gratitude to Bhagwan for sending Brother Raju to speak with us today. Over to you, Brother Raju. Sai Ram.
यज्ञेश विश्वंभराच्युत शवन मंगल नामधेय लोकस्वरूप आपन्न भक्ति जनार्थ विकंडन दीक्षि लोकाधार तीर्थपाद विश्वोद्भवस्थिति विलय कारणभूत संततानंद शश्वत विलास विनुत मंदार गुणहार वेदशील प्रणत वत्सल पद्माक्ष परम पुरुष परुडै ईश्वरुडै महामहिमुडै प्रादुर्भवस्थान संहरण क्रीडनुडै शक्तियुतुडै अंतर्गत ज्योति परमेष्टि प्रमुखामराधिपुलकुन भाविंप राकुंड दुस्तर मार्गम्मुन तेजरिल्लु हरिकिन तत्वार्थ नैमृक्यदन निगम कविप विहरण निखिल वेदपहरण शतचत विहरण वितरण कपटद विधि निकरण कनद वित तरुवरण जलरुह सदृशरण शरदि शरण विदित हुरसरण विधि विच नक्किन सनय जगत अवतरण जन्नभरण करिवरद पुदचरण यजविष दरिकर्ण समद जल अनुसरण सौपचरण सत्य साईश्वर तुभ्यं नमोस्तु. Offering myself at the lotus feet of the Lord, I stand here not to teach about love, not to talk about devotion. I have no aspirations of changing the heart of the listener with my words. Neither do I expect that my words inspire the listener. I am honestly here on a very selfish reason. When we talk about Swami, it is an opportunity to live, to go back to those beautiful moments and relive them. It is only for that selfish reason of reliving those beautiful moments with the Lord that I have come here. And Brother Giridhar was very kind when he introduced me that I spoke 60 odd times in Swami's presence. I had written so many plays. But it's like that speaker that you see in Kulwant Hall or the speaker that you see in your samitis or anywhere, the black box that's emptying the sound. Yeah, that is the one that is just emitting the sound, but the speaker is somewhere else. Just apparently, although 60 odd times I was that black box standing there, and the speaker was the Lord. Those 4 and odd times of drama, I was just holding a pen, and it was the Lord who was actually flowing. Even now, I come here with that confidence that I have agreed to sit here and to enjoy the bliss of reliving the moments with the Lord, and it is His responsibility to talk through me. I have thought that I'll talk about what is it to love God in these days of WhatsApp and Twitter's. Love, probably many say, is the most abused word, and with the onset of status in WhatsApp and Facebook, we have numerous philosophers, endless philosophies. But what is actually to love God? What we learned being with Swami, observing him, learning from what he said, acting on what he asked us to do. I was in 12th class. Apologize. I was in 11th, just entering 12th. So I had seen so many of my senior brothers in the hostel, in the college, going up to Swami, so many devotees going up to Swami and telling Swami that, Swami, I love you. And Swami would smile and say, Ha, Manchidi. I also wanted that pat from Swami. I also wanted to impress him, that I wanted to tell him that, Swami, I also love you. And I thought and thought, that little mind of mine and that innocent thoughts of mine, I thought, how do I express Swami? How do I tell him that I love him the most? I was kind of expecting that Swami would recognize me as the best lover for the act that I'm going to do. You know what I've decided? I thought I bought a 400-page book, 400 pages notebook, a ruled notebook. I thought I would fill that book from first page to the last page with the word, I love you, Swami. So as per my calculation, it was coming around somewhere around 15,220 something number of I love you, Swami. So I decided that I will fill that notebook for 3 days without a break. I would write without a break. So we had 3 holidays. So I was not even willing to have food. In fact, I would skip sleeping in the night. I would sit in the bathroom and I would write and write. So 3 days I wrote. It was, I love you, Swami. I love you, Swami. And by the third day, by third evening darshan, my fingers were paining. I was very tired. I had no strength. I thought, whatever. I think there was 1 or 2 sheets left. I thought, Swami, these 2 sheets are for you to write if you want anything. So I am not able to fill this book. I want this book to be my token of love to you. I thought in my little mind that, in my little experience, that Swami would hug me and Swami would take me up to the stage and declare that I am the best lover of the Lord. See, here is my boy who wrote so many times I love Swami, and he is the best lover that I have. And with that mind, I was with those imaginations, being a poetic mind of mine, I was imagining that the ages to come would talk about that little Ranganath Raju who was Christian by Swami as the greatest lover. I had all those dreams of getting in instant form, being recognized by the Lord then and there. So I went and sat for darshan with that book, with a lot of hope, with a lot of confidence that Swami is going to recognize me. Swami is going to look up to me and call me. And then comes Swami for darshan. He would come near me. He spoke to the boy on this side and on the other side, but he ignored me. I thought maybe I just opened a book, and by the time I could open the book and explain to him, he walked away. I thought maybe he'd not have time, he'd not notice it. I was quite confident that Swami would see this and be very, very happy, and all those accolades would follow. So second time he came again, the pattern repeated. He spoke to the boys on either side, but he ignored me. Third time, fourth time, that is when I realized that he's intentionally ignoring me. I was clueless as to why he's doing that. So there was some function that was happening that day, and Swami came up to me again, fifth time. This time I wanted somehow to grab his attention. I just stood up on my knees. I showed the book, Swami, Here is this Rangnath Raju who says that, Swami, I love you, God, I love you, and you're not recognizing. Swami looked at the book, Swami looked at me, Swami smiled and said, Manchidi. Good. That's all. I had nothing to say, and he just said, Manchidi. Swami, I was expecting him to say some more. I was thinking that, Swami, tell me, good boy. He said, Panchidi. He repeated second time, third time, and said, Kucho, sit down. I was crestfallen. I was shocked. But years later, that time I did not understand what is it to love God. Is it to love God? Is it just to express in words? Is it to say multiple times that, God, I love you, I love you, I love you? Is it just that? What it is to love God? Maybe I thought in that little innocent mind, in those innocent days, I thought maybe my writing was not clear. Maybe Swami was busy. I kept pondering. I did not know why he did not recognize me, or why he kind of ignored me. Why I did not get the appropriate attention that I was actually supposed to get. And then days passed. I thought maybe I should write with blood. One day I should pierce my skin, and as in I should cut probably one of my fingers, and when the blood oozes out, I should write the entire book saying, Swami, I love you, Swami, I love you. I had one or two times I wanted to cut my hand, but I was little scared. I was quite scared, in fact. So we were in Vrindavan, second year graduation, and one day Swami came into the mandir in Trai hall, where we would get an opportunity to sit around Swami. I thought maybe to love God is to express it emotionally with blood and with tears. And that is when maybe Lord would recognize and say that, yeah, you are my lover. No, I was of that opinion, and I was waiting for an opportunity to express my love in those terms. And one evening, as I said, we were in Trai Vrindavan waiting for Swami. Swami came huffing and puffing. Swami was very, very upset with something. He stood right in the middle of the hall and shouted, Acharya, who is Acharya? And we were petrified looking at that ferocious form of the Lord. Usually he would be very loving, be very kind, but there was Swami standing, and Swami was like that Ugra Narasimha. Swami was that anger personified, and he was shouting, who is Acharya? Who is that Acharya? And we were all petrified, scared, did not know what to say. We were just like small kittens hugging and trying to get away to some corner of the room. 2 times he shouted, third time warden very hesitantly got up and said, Swami, that boy is sitting in the other room. Swami said, call him. And then Acharya came running. We weren't sure what was happening. Then Swami pulled out a letter and showed him and said, what nonsense is this? Aim picture I said, what nonsense is this? What is this madness? And that boy was crying and saying, Swami, I love you, Swami, I love you. Swami said, what? And he was telling all of us, see this fellow. See this boy, he wrote with blood his entire letter saying that, Swami, I love you, Swami, I have this problem. I love you, Swami, I love you. You think, Swami, God wants your blood and sweat? You think God, the one who created this entire universe, the one who runs everything and everyone, you think he wants your sweat and blood to express your love to him? And it told all of us, this is anacharam. Said it is unrefined thinking. It is immaturity. And he looked at all of us again and said, this boy was crying. And here was the live example of mine. I wanted to write that similar letter. I thought, oh my God, this Acharya took away the opportunity, but good that he took it away. Because otherwise I would have been in Acharya's place and got banged. But then Swami continues and says, he looks at that boy's tears and says, hey, and he showed me the letter. He showed all of us the letter and said, hey, devotion is not emotion, Ra. Devotion is not emotion. Then what is it to love God? Is it to express in words, which I just told you? No. Is it to write in blood and sweat and tell Swami, God, that I love you? Maybe I thought being very close to him physically. Maybe that is it to love God, because I would see so many boys sitting around Swami, and Swami would speak to them for long time. And I thought, maybe if I sit very near to Swami, and maybe those are the boys that Swami loves, and that is what is loving Swami. So one day, and as days passed, I was blessed to speak. As I said, I was Swami had called me. So in one of those festival occasions, I was sitting just right behind Swami, and I was scheduled to speak after the particular program that was going in Kulwant Hall. I was just sitting somewhere just behind Swami, and Swami was on the stage. And there was one particular group of devotees around Guru Purnima. They were putting up a beautiful program, beautiful drama that was happening, very gripping drama. And the two boys who would assist Swami physically, they were sitting on the either side. And the hall was full. Since I was sitting behind Swami, I was able to see the end of Kulwant Hall. And there was the Lord. So he had a bunch of letters in his left hand. He picked up, he had one letter in his right hand. He opened the letter and he read it. And he passed the letter like this. He flipped the letter to the boy who was sitting to the right of his chair. Those two boys would assist Swami in walking, and they would help Swami in holding those letters. So usually the boys are quite attentive. So Swami just flipped the letter like this, and the boy who was sitting to the right of Swami, he was sitting so close, but yet he was sitting so close, yet he was so lost in the drama that's happening right in front of him. He was so lost. Such a gripping drama, he was lost in watching the drama. And a second, Swami flipped the letter like this to him. He noticed the boy being lost in the drama. Again, he flipped back. He flipped the letter back to the boy sitting on the left. The left side sitting boy immediately took the letter. And at the end of the Kulwant Hall, at the end of the hall, I just said the hall was full with devotees. At the end of that hall, there was one old man. Since I was sitting right behind Swami, I was able to see physically as to what Swami is seeing. At the end of the hall, there was one old man with a hat, with a Gandhi cap, not hat, but cap. He was sitting right there. Since he was not able to see an old man, he was actually craning his neck and doing that namaskaram to Swami, doing that namaskar to Swami, folding his palms. And Swami looks at him, and Swami looks at the boy sitting next to him, and Swami looks at me, and like this, he tells me, he just makes a sign like this. And it immediately strikes me. It was as if he was telling me in signs, and his lips were almost saying that. So near. This boy who was sitting next to him was so near. Yet so far, he's lost in the drama of the world that's happening right in front of him. He's sitting right next to God, but yet he's lost in the drama that's happening right in front of him. And that old man, so far, he's lost in that crowd, in that multitudes that are sitting, that are far away from God physically. But yet he's so near. From there, he's craning his neck and doing that namaskar to God. Who is actually near and far? Is that old man who is so far? Is he loving God, or is this boy who is sitting next to Swami, is he loving Swami more? Who? What is it to love God? Is it to be really just physically close to him? Is it to just express in words, to say that Swami, I love you, God, I love you? Or is it to write letters of emotion and say that God, I love you? Or is it to physically be close to God, to be in temples, to be in the places of worship, to be physically close to that form and say, God, I love you? What it is actually to love God? 85th birthday, one of the grandest occasions in the life of the avatar. Swami was right on the stage, and Swami blessed me as one of those boys who would announce for the program. Before the program began, we were asked to give introduction about the day, about the importance of the day, about the life of the Lord, the 85 grand years of love. I was one of those 4 boys chosen by the Lord. Anil Kumar sir, Professor Anil Kumar, and 3 of us. And there was Swami, just 2 feet away from me was Swami. And right in front of us were multitudes, probably lakhs of millions of people, lakhs of people sitting there right in front of us. Swami was just 1 foot away from me, 1 foot away from me. And yet the ground was full of those multitudes who were sitting there and pining to have one glance of Swami. And I was not happy. I wasn't happy at all. Because I wanted Swami to, yes, Swami looked at me, but I wanted Swami to speak to me. I wanted Swami to engage me in a conversation. I wanted Swami to recognize me as a speaker. I was not happy. The entire 1.5 hours I was right next to him. And yet I was not happy. I was so dissatisfied. I was, yes, my mind was on God. I was not lost in the world that is playing in front. I was right next to the Lord with all concentration. But yet I was not happy. What is it to love God? Is it to be near Him, to have your mind on Him and yet be lost in the really nature of the mind, in the evils of the mind, of the dissatisfaction, of anger, of lust? What is it to love God? I was not happy. I was very dissatisfied. And the program ended. I was walking back to Mandir. They were asked to come to Mandir. I was walking back to Mandir. Swami left. And as I just entered the ashram, there were two old people, wife and husband. Husband was around 70 years old. Wife is around 65 odd. They're struggling to walk. They just entered Mandir, Prashant Nilayam Mandir. And right in front of the Ganesh gate, I was quite dissatisfied. I had those announcement papers with me. 1.5 hours, in spite of being next to Swami, as I said, I was not happy. And this couple, old couple, were just passing by, and the old man bent down right as he put his leg, as he kept his leg into the ashram, he bent down, picked up sand, and he applied it on his forehead, and he applied that sand on the forehead of his wife. And he says, this is the sand. This is the sand from the feet of the devotees of the Lord. Those devotees have seen the Lord. We are old. He was telling her in Telugu. Both of us are old. We could not enter the stadium packed with people. We could not even walk that far. But how does it matter? We are fortunate to touch the sand from the feet of those devotees who have seen the Lord. And when that conversation hit my ears, I was stunned. I stood there shaking. Here were two old couple who have not seen Swami on that day, and they are satisfied with the dust of the devotees who have seen Swami. And yet, here was I, standing next to the Lord for 1.5 hours, and yet being plagued with dissatisfaction, with unhappiness, with uncontented mind. What is it to love God? What is it? Is it then to walk His word and experience Him unexpected ways? Yeah, we know that till now whatever I spoke, His form, yes, is incidental, but what is it then is to love God? Is it to walk His word and experience Him in ways that we cannot even imagine? Is it that? Maybe. Swami once had called us for a practice session in his residence. So in the pretext of practice, he gave us a lot of prasadam, and 4 boys were called. We were sitting on either side of Swami. So we were supposed to speak the next day in 4 different languages. I was supposed to speak in Telugu. My classmate of mine was supposed to speak in Hindi. He was sitting opposite to me, other side of Swami, and we just ate the prasadam the Swami gave. Our hands were not clean, and Swami was getting up from the throne. The boy who was sitting on the other side No, we wanted to assist Swami while he is getting up. So since he had not washed his hand, he was actually hesitating. He was putting up his left hand, trying to getting confused as to should he stretch his right or left. So in that confusion, Swami caught the hand that had leftovers of food, the right hand, and then Swami got up. And as he got up, he looked at me and said in Telugu, he said, "Cheti engilena parvaled, hrudayam engili kagunda chuskondra." The hand might be not clean, but make sure that your heart is always clean. And then I heard someone, I was lost in the beauty of the sentence that the Lord just blessed us with. I was looking at him, and then I heard someone sobbing. It was quite unnatural. We just four of us, and someone was sobbing uncontrollably. I just looked around. The boy who was on the other side, the friend of mine whose right hand Swami had caught, he was sobbing. He was looking at that. His Swami was holding like this, and he was looking at that grip of Swami, the hand of Swami, was sobbing uncontrollably. And then Swami looks at him, and Swami tells us, Chudandra, see, look at him, he's crying. And I told him, tell them, Cheppu, Cheppu. And the boy started narrating. In his vacation, we just came back from vacation. In his vacation, he was going home. So just before he left the hostel, he called up his mother and said, Amma, Mom, I'm coming home. So he likes one particular dish that his mother makes with clarified butter ghee. So he said, Amma, chapati, wheat bread. He said, you make the wheat bread and apply that clarified ghee, and that's the first food I want to have. As soon as I set my foot into the house after this 7 months of hostel food, I want to have that as the first food of yours. And mother was, she had taken all the care and preparation to make sure that it is crisp, it is hot. The boy reached home. He entered, and the mother was ready with that hot dish. And this boy picked it up from the plate, and just before he was about to bite, and that aroma of the clarified butter, and after so many days he was having mother's food, all those emotions were running quite high. Just before he could take the first bite, there was a beggar at the door, and he said, Amma, give me something, I'm hungry. And this boy was about to take the first bite. He was so irritated, said, hey, get out, I've just come in, just get out. And the beggar walked up. Apparently this boy had the first bite. That is when it struck him that 2 days before we left to our home, Swami told us, Swami might, every form that you see Swami might come to you in any ways. Thought maybe Swami said that, let me follow the word that Swami says. Maybe this, we don't know. No. So I would, whatever I will give this food that I was supposed to have. He wrapped it up with an aluminum foil, and he ran behind that particular beggar. He caught him, and he placed that foil in his hand. And when the beggar was accepting, the beggar very strangely, he caught his right hand. And that time the right hand was still not clean, and he caught the right hand. And that is, the boy felt, the friend of mine felt that the touch of his was quite familiar, but he was not sure as to where he felt that touch before. He was not very sure. So the beggar caught his hand and smiled at him, took the packet and walked away. Now, after 2 weeks, when Swami was holding this boy's hand again, that is when he realized that this was the same touch that he felt when the beggar was holding his hand. And that's why he's sobbing. And Swami looks at him and says, your mother made, in Telugu he told him, chapatil chala baga chesindra. He said, your mother chapatis were very tasty. And that's when he started, that's why he's sobbing uncontrollably. What is it to love God? Is it to be near him, to be next to his form, to talk about love, and or is it to be somewhere far, pine for him and walk his word and experience him in ways that you cannot even imagine? And there was one classmate of mine. This boy at least followed the word of the Lord, and he experienced the love of the Lord. But there was one classmate of mine. to whom Swami had not spoken before, not spoken at all before. He was returning from vacations. He got into the bus. So that particular bus was starting from a city called Chennai. It is scheduled to reach Prashant Lem next day. It's a painful 2-hour journey from that particular city to Prashant Lem Puttaparthi. So he sat in that bus and he slept away. The bus started from that city somewhere in the night around 9:30, and around 12 this boy got up. Bus was sparsely, it was not full, but there were quite a number of people, but there was pungent smell in the bus. There was one strange thing that he had noticed when he had got into the bus. When he had got in the second seat, right in the second seat, he saw a very old woman, probably 90 years old woman. She was sitting there, and he thought, why is this old woman traveling unaccompanied? That one thought passed his mind. He thought, anyway. So he went and sat in his seat, which is somewhere behind. So the bus was pungently smelling. So he got up because of that pungent smell. And there was commotion. There was a fight, brawl that's happening outside the bus in the bus depot. He looked out and he saw the bus driver and the management. They were arguing. Then there was kind of fist fight. And he inquired the passenger sitting next to him, why did the bus stop, and what is this pungent smell? Why are those people fighting? And then this fellow, the person sitting next to him, he was covering his face, and he told him, that old lady who is sitting there in that second seat, she's so old that she cannot walk. So she passed all her stools in that seat. She's actually full of, that entire seat is full of those stools. And that is the smell of the stool. That's why this pungent smell. And now the driver outside is fighting with the management, saying the bus is the responsibility of the management, so they should wash it. Now the management is telling the traveler was riding in the bus that you are driving, so you should wash the bus. So that's where the fight started. So he said, that's all? Is that it? I said, yes, that's all. So this boy, he looked up, he got up, and there were 2-3 ladies sitting around that old lady, and they were abusing her, saying that, what is this, Amma? Why can't you take care? This boy very gently just walked up to her. Without a second thought, he picked her up in his arms and he walked down. So he walked to the nearest, there's a toilet just outside. He told her, Amma, don't worry, treat me as your grandson. I will wash your body. Don't worry. He picked her up. He went up to the toilet 12:15 in the early morning. It's a midnight. So as he was about to enter the toilet of that bathroom, there was a 40-year-old lady with a bucket. She just walked out from that toilet as if she was expecting this old lady. She came out, she looked at this boy and said, give her to me. I will clean her up. You don't worry. So, but here that anyway, he was quite relieved that, and it would be better for a lady to attend to another lady than he attending to this old lady. And the old lady was quite satisfied. So the old lady was taken inside. So this boy meanwhile came up to the bus. He just cleaned up the entire material, and he kind of cleaned up the place. And by then the old lady was cleaned. The other lady got her out and she handed over the old lady to him. This boy got her up, picked her up again, kept her back in the seat, and he said, Amma, namaskaram. He just bowed her and came back and sat. The old lady was crying. That is all the conversation that they had, and this boy slept. Next day morning, the bus reached Prashant Nilayam. He got down, he got dressed, and then he ran for darshan. And he was sitting somewhere in one of those lines. Swami had not spoken to him before. He was sitting in one of those lines, the first few lines. Boys just were returning from vacation. Swami walks up to this boy. Swami looked at him deeply. And then one of our professors was sitting right in front. This boy happens to come from Chennai. The place where bus stop was called Madanapalli. So Swami looks at that professor and then looks at this boy and says, Professor, do you know where is this boy from? And the professor says, Swami, he's quite a uh, quite a studious boy, quite an intelligent boy who was topping the class. So he said, Swami, this boy is from Chennai. I know him quite well. Swami said, but last night I have met him in Madanapalli. And this boy was stunned. He said, Swami, Madanapalli? So it repeats again, I met him in Madanapalli last night. And then Swami gave a smile. Swami created vibhuti, poured it in his palm, and he winked his eye and said, Madanapalli bus stand, and walked away. That is when it struck him that that lady who came out of that toilet was Swami. As he was carrying this old lady, he was praying that, Swami, would it be okay for me to clean this old lady? It would be so nice if I get some help. And that lady came in. It never struck him in that night. She thought it must be some servant maid. But why would a servant? Why would someone be available at that 12 o'clock in the night? That is when it struck him. That lady who actually cleaned this old lady was Swami. And as this realization dawned on him, Swami by then took 2 steps. Swami turned back and said, good boy, heart full of love, good boy. What is it to love God? Is it to be spoken to him and walk his word, or is it to be not spoken to him yet live his inspiration, yet follow his message? I think I'm almost ending the time that I'm given. I will end with last 1 or 2 incidents. I had just reached Prashant Nilayam in the night, and one of those days I was with TVS. I was heading the economic research and also was an executive assistant to the chairman quite well. So I got dropped in a chartered flight in the Bangalore airport. From there, I drove down to Prashant Nilayam. Since I was reaching in the night, I told my friend to keep some food ready for me so that I would not go hungry in the night. So he had kept some food ready. So I reached Prashant Nilayam, and this friend of mine gave me the food packet that he had. So he had, because he was feeling quite hungry, he had some part of it. I was quite upset. Why should you have this? What is this nonsense? I would feel quite hungry. I mean, who would now feed me in the night? So this conversation was going on. And he was telling me, hey, come on, yeah, I was feeling quite hungry. So I had a bit. It's okay. Why don't you manage for one night, And I was quite unhappy. And this conversation was going on, and it was around 11:30 in the night, and an old beggar comes walking. She asked, Babu, she looked at me and said, Babu, give me that food. Give me that food. I was so irritated with the conversation that with my friend. In that irritation, I just took my entire packet and had kept that packet in her hand and said, Ma, go, get out, walk away. I don't want that food. Now, this fool, I asked him to keep some food, and that he had some part of it, and now remaining you want to take it. I dumped it. It's a quite irritating mindset. And that is when I realized that I would actually be hungry. So now I cannot ask her. So I wanted to one, to take back the food, but I cannot ask the beggar that I gave. Second, I also wanted to see what would this lady do with that food. I was thinking, I was in that upset mindset. I thought maybe she would go and again cheat some people, would again ask for money. So I started following her. I started dotting her. I started following her. This old lady, right in front of the mandir, there's a lane called Chitravati lane. So she goes into that, and there's a by lane. She takes a turn. And then there were 3 old people sleeping. And that food packet had 3 chapatis. So she counted those 3 chapatis. So she walked up to them, and it was night, dead in the night, and there was nobody, just 5 of us, those 3 people sleeping, and this old lady and me behind her. I was suspecting that this old lady would do some mischief. So this lady went up to those 3 people who were sleeping. She woke them up, and then they got up. And then she told them, see, did I not tell you, Swami? She was telling them in Telugu. Did I not tell you that Swami will send us food? See, God sent us this food. And then she gave one chapati to each of those three beggars. And those beggars were so grateful. They started munching that food with lot of satisfaction and joy. I was stunned. Then I asked her, Amma, what about you? You would go hungry. Said it's she's around 90 years. She's 80, 85 years, and she's quite struggling even to walk. She looks at me and says, it's okay, Babu. It is okay. It's okay, my son. It's okay. One night I can go hungry. But look at them. Three of them are happy because of this food. And here was I, which I just told you about that introduction, that I got dropped in a chartered flight by doing quite well, and yet was dissatisfied with my friend who stole, who did not even steal, who just had one bit of food. What is it to love God? This old lady would have, she looked at me and I told her, Amma, why are you doing this? She looked at me and showed me the gate of Prashantilayam and said, Now, Babu, we live right in front of that gate where Bhagavan Satya Sai Baba lives. The God who has personified selflessness. When I am living on the same sand that he is walking on, should I not inculcate the one, even one quality that he is embodied for? What am I worth for if I don't do even this bit? I was stunned. I stood speechless. What is it to love God? This old lady would have not spoken to Swami even a single time in her life. Swami would not have ever looked at her in her lifetime. But this lady had that virtue of living God. Once one of my seniors had told Swami in a lot of emotion, he got up and said, Swami, I want to die for you, Swami. Swami, I am ready to die for you. And because Swami said, why? Because I love you, Swami. Swami looked at him deeply and said, hey, don't die for me. Live for me. Living God is loving God. If we are able to live the Lord, if we are able to see Him in every place, if you are able to see Swami in every person, if you are able to feel His love, endless love flowing in every interaction that's happening around us, probably then we can say that we are loving God. Probably then we can term ourselves as devotees of God. In last one bit, I told Swami once that Swami, I have nothing to offer you. And then Swami told me, he looked at me and said, one poet, a very famous poet in Telugu, Swami told me this story. He said, one poet had come to me once without any flowers, without any pen and paper. So the professor sitting next to me, the vice chancellor asked him, how could you come to Swami without offering anything, without having a flower or a paper at least to offer something to Swami? So the poet folded his palms and told the vice chancellor, told Swami that Swami, how can I, how can I nip that bud? Because it is you, that flower is you. How can I write on a paper because I don't see the sheet, I see only you? How can I offer you something, take out water from the river because I don't see the river, it is only you? What am I to offer you, Swami? Because I am not there. Everything is only you, Swami. Everything is only you. Swami said, Adira Prema, that is love. To see God, to feel God, to live God every moment is actually loving God, in my little experience. I'm grateful to the Lord for allowing me to share these thoughts, I mean, as I said, I've just sat here. It is the Lord who flowed through. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Shrikanta Lokesha Lokodbhavastana Samharakari Purari Murari Priya Chandradhari Mahendra Adi Brindara Kananda Sandoha Sandhayi Punya Swarupa Virupaksha Daksha Dvaradam Saka Deva Nidaina Tatwamba Buddhim Pradhanam Vanch Buddhimantul Nana Prakarambulan Ninnu Bhavin Torishana Bhattaraka Bharga Bhagat Sakutsa Dinana Munstutta Dattavadana Lala Tek Shanogdagni Baspi Kritananga Gangadhara Ni Prasadambunan Siddha Gandharva Girvan Surendadulun Shashvata Ishwarya Sampraptula Irishwara Vishwakarta Asirabhyacharta Momemo Arpintum O Karunyamurti Tilokaikanata Namaste Namaste Namaha. Jai Sai Ram.
Sairam. Thank you, Brother Raju. What an amazing and an inspiring talk. I really wish that this talk would never end and we will keep listening. And it's not just listening. You transported us into a different world, into a world where we were seeing Swami all the time. We were seeing the glory and the magnanimity of the Lord, which expresses itself in so many different ways. Thank you for transporting us to that world. Your talk has touched on some very deep and pertinent questions of what is love for God? How do we love God? What is devotion? Is it more important to be near the Lord or to be dear to Him? Is it to follow the Lord's command? Is it to engage in selfless service? These are questions each one of us should remember and keep asking ourselves until we get the answers from within for ourselves. Once again, we express our gratitude to Swami for sending Brother Raju our way. And thank you, Brother Ranganath Raju. You have been inspiring as always.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.